Welcome to the greatest of the greatest.
You're listening to Full Bobby Cast. Full Bobby Cast. Full Bobby
That old
Cast.
Audacity song.
So the bummer thing about having Bobby as a friend is that he will do fun things like he just did. And, you know, I don't got my hat on, I realize. I usually like to wear a hat.
You know, you like to wear your Seahawks
so
beanie.
bald. Yeah, he made fun of that one. Bobby's been living off this joke forever. Anyway, welcome to Full Bobby Cast. He went live, and this is about Bobby Martinez, his life, and he tells the stories about him. Anyway, he went live, and he's like, hey, who wants to ask me questions? But I had to talk about it. First off, terrible posture. Secondly, no hat. Thirdly,
Evan? What does Evan mean?
so that's Corinne. We all think that you are like Evan. I remember I told you about this like about a year ago. There's a guy that we may work with that you guys are similar.
Oh yeah, you sent me a picture or something.
Yeah, and he didn't think that you looked like him, and you didn't think that
I barely
vice versa.
remember. Yeah.
But you guys are the same. You guys are extremely the same. Anyway, Corinne, shout out. Yes, absolutely. He did look like Evan looks like Bobby. All right. So there's 9 views here, which is weird.
So he's striking.
That's the most views I think you've ever gotten out of anything.
Yeah, I think so. This says Evan guy sounds really good looking.
He is. He's a heartthrob. You guys could easily, like, if you guys wanted to be like a tag team partnership in the WWE.
Oh, I thought you meant like high five over
you guys,
the top.
they'd be like, we're the dynamic twins, where you guys don't look exactly the same, but you guys do look the same.
Mm.
Nice zoom on with that.
I like that. Yeah.
All right, let's talk. Bobby,
Okay, I'm talking.
where can we find you, first and foremost?
bobandlizshow.com or youtube.com/C/the Bob and Liz Show.
Okay. All right, now back to our regular scheduled program of talking to you about life.
We left off. We were going to talk about something the end of last episode, but then we ended it. What were we talking about?
The Edom Club discussion board.
Okay, yeah.
But
Bobby badge.
The Bobby badges.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Okay.
Those have hung on a little bit.
They have. Now, were you at any point like bugged by it? That I just came out with Bobby badges because you're like a polarizing figure on the old Edom Claw.
There's
EDTG HASS AD.
No, there's way more important things to worry about in life than what my online persona is. I think that's also what bugs a lot of people about me. I really don't care.
There's way more than that people get bugged by.
I agree.
No, but you know what I realized as I'm looking at this live video of you putting filters all over my face and bunny rabbits and stars and this and that and you laughing like an idiot.
It's so funny though.
People are mortified of what they look like.
Yeah.
But as if not everyone sees them. Isn't that funny? As a photographer, wouldn't you find that funny? Is that there's something, delete that. Delete that.
Yeah,
but it's like, dude, that's what you look like. You have bad posture. You have a neck that sticks out. You are bald, Trav. People see that you're surprised by it, but nobody else is surprised by it.
You know what's funny is that I think a lot of what people interpret, a lot of what makes weird, I don't know how else to phrase it, like makes attractiveness.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with how you carry yourself. And confidence. So you can be a person who has poor posture or is bald and still exude confidence, and that'll be more attractive than exuding self-consciousness.
I feel like I'm more self-conscious than what he just said. I feel like you just said like, oh, you could be like a slobby, gross guy who's just bald and no posture. Oh, like you, Trav. I like you, buddy.
Me, dude.
You look okay. Your head. He shaved his head down to nothing right now, and he looks like. If I can say anything, like when I saw this, you need to go, everyone, right now. If you don't have it, go get it. If you don't get it, go Google it.
I'm going bald. I just took it all off.
He shaved it down to nothing, and he looks like a bald bull from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. and he looks exactly like him. He's got the same features, the same face, and now he's just skin bald right now.
But it's
He also looks
bald.
kind of like you got a more of a pointy head than
That's like a football. My
Yeah.
dad said when I was being born, and then
He
it was like,
caught you in the end
like
zone?
someone hiked him the football.
Was he like? Did he spike it?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense if he did. Yeah.
But no, it's what I mean though is that self-consciousness is never attractive. All it does is make whatever situation you're self-conscious about worse.
That's true.
You mean you gotta exude confidence.
So when I'm over here, with my wife, do you ever get self-conscious with your wife? Let's get deep, Bobby.
No.
Bobby.
I mean, maybe
Bobby.
subconsciously I do, but
Bobby.
you know, we don't fart in front of each other.
Neither do we.
Yeah.
Pound it. Boom.
Air pound.
Air pound. So here's the thing. We had this whole conversation on the premenopause. Yeah. I don't fart.
Yeah.
I'll grab a pillow and fart in it.
Not you fart in the pillow?
Have to.
Oh.
Still fart.
You ever just pull one cheek aside and air fart?
I feel like that is releasing more than I want.
You think it holds
Plus, I don't
someone
really
in?
have a butt, so I can't really pull a cheek aside. Here, let's go back to not talking about my butt or you pulling an ass cheek aside to fart to get that full release of poop particles. But let's talk about
self-conscious.
self-consciousness even more so now. So when I was so I created Travis Kenny. I created the clown dude, the funny dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't beat people up. I couldn't I could beat you intellectually, but who cares about that? And you wouldn't know anything about that. But just kidding. But
That's worse than a fart.
no way. Well, it smells like it. For me though, I created Travis Kenny, this class clown weirdo, because the hard shell, I'm a soft guy on the inside, right? So I'm an idiot. I'm a complete moron, and you already know that. But no, you're like, no, you do a really good job at being a complete idiot, Travis, and a complete moron. I'm like, yeah, no, I know. I magnify that, but I really deep down am an idiot and a moron, and so you're like, no,
So you're projecting.
we get it. Yeah, but like that's the type of person that I am. So I get so self-conscious. My self-conscious is off the charts. So when you're married, especially to someone that you've outkicked your coverage, I feel like Liz is probably the better looking one of the I'm sorry to say this, but
No, that's all right.
I know that's a hard thing for you to hear. But she
God,
is
my wife is good looking. It's so hard to hear.
well, I'm just saying like
better looking than out of the two of us.
out of the two of us,
Yeah.
she's good looking,
Yeah.
right? And so for me, my wife, she's obviously the better looking one than me. And so that self-conscious kicks into play where I don't know if I can accept it. And then I'm like, well, do you just like me the way for me? Or do you like me because I make you feel good? And I get weird with it. And so, yeah. So let me ask you this, since you said people that exude this confidence. What if this person that's been exuding this confidence in your life all of a sudden showed self-consciousness and weakness? Does that change your opinion of them? Like if you saw your dad cry, like maybe you never saw your dad cry.
Well, crying isn't self-consciousness. I'd say that you have to be pretty confident in yourself in order to actually cry in front of people.
Gosh dang it.
Well, 'cause a lot of people are
I said I
ashamed
wasn't going to do it, Bobby. Wait.
But no, I honestly think that crying in front of folks, it's either one of two things. You're just a crybaby and nobody likes that.
Ooh.
Or you have enough
Harsh.
confidence in order to do so if the situation warrants it.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I don't cry a lot, but I do get moved with emotion when it comes to like my kids.
Oh, of course. Me
Right.
too.
And you think either something will just hit you, and it could be a good moment. Like, oh my gosh, they're seeing, like when you saw your kid look at a Christmas tree for the first time and that amazement and that wonderment and like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it's like, then you're just like, oh, I was there at one time.
No, it's true. Well, a lot of it with kids, I'm realizing being a parent is it's nostalgia for the own things for you're remembering how it made you feel in that same situation.
Right.
So a lot of it's nostalgia and then wanting them to feel that even more and then recognizing that they do and being happy about it. And I think a lot of it has to do with nostalgia with kids is what
that could be
I'm
tradition,
realizing.
nostalgia.
Yeah.
In fact, you could even say something like you may even force them to do some things that you used to do. For instance, like, hey, I played soccer when I was a kid, so you got to play soccer.
yeah.
Even if you didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I remember doing this.
We've talked about that with jiu-jitsu and Ava. I don't want to like push her to make her do it because I don't want her to resent doing it.
Right.
But I at least want her to give it a shot in
Yeah.
order to like see if she likes it. Because Liz is a pretty athletic person, and I'm big and moderately athletic for my size, I guess.
Yeah, right.
So I think Ava's probably going to have an advantage when it comes to that. Her family plays sports and stuff, so she's already really big for her age. So in whatever sport she decides to play, if she decides to play one, I think she'll probably be good at. And it'd be awesome if it was jiu-jitsu.
So let me ask you this then. When are you going to force Jinko jeans on her? And a chain.
I actually was going to I have a wallet chain. I was going to break out again, but I decided not to yet until my other wallet wears out.
Yeah.
But no, she already gets in my style. She was wearing some red cowboy boots and some white brimmed sunglasses downtown the other day. She has her camo hat.
Well, did you see, speaking of like what you can get your kids, did you see that kid that like, I'd say 3 or 4 year old asked Santa? Did you see this thing, what he just asked Santa for?
No, what do you ask Santa for?
All right. So it's COVID. It's
you could try to make me cry?
No, maybe make you mad.
Oh, okay.
So the Santa, they're sitting at a table with the part. It's almost like Santa sitting at his desk. You can sit in front of Santa with a little thing. So that he goes, "What do you want for Christmas, little boy?" And the kid's trying to figure out what he wants. Takes him probably about 10 seconds, 15 seconds to. He goes, I want a Nerf gun. And then Santa goes, no guns. I don't deliver guns. And the mom goes, no, a Nerf gun. It was a Nerf gun. Yeah, no, we don't do no. So North Pole doesn't. Your dad can buy that for you, but no, Nerf guns. No, I don't deliver guns. But you can get other things like maybe a truck or a car. And the kid like breaks down crying.
Is this a true like internet?
Oh yeah, it's going viral right now. And it's insane for one reason. And that is that it was not insane, but when you watch it, the kid's not crying. I think the kid is crying because Santa didn't like he disappointed Santa.
Yeah.
And it's like,
why would the asshole Santa do that?
Now, that's the big debate right now.
I know you don't have the answer to these.
Right.
I'm just commenting on
right.
it.
That's right. Could be. I don't know, but maybe they're like, we shy away. Because what if a kid walked up and said, "I want a sex doll"? Like you go, well, I don't deliver sex dolls, but you could maybe get a regular doll and then get a drill. I'll give you a drill. But no,
a pool floaty. Can't get a sex doll, but I'll give you a pool floaty. What do you call them things? The pool.
I know the noodles.
No, sex dolls are just blow up just like the pool floaties.
I see what you're saying. That's so stupid. But anyway, it's something where.
But a Nerf gun.
Yeah, I know. I get it. But it reminds me of A Christmas Story. And
yeah,
that
you'll
kid
shoot your eye out.
Yes, and he goes to Santa, and Santa's like, "Oh, I'll bring you a football," and pushes the kid's head down or whatever, and you'll shoot your eye out. So it's Santa like back then saying it, but now he's saying it now.
It's so dumb.
What's the one thing that you always wanted for Christmas but never got?
So are we going to go under the guise, you can edit this out. Are we talking about...
Nope, not editing this.
Okay, Santa. We're acknowledging that as parents, we're Santa Claus, correct?
I just asked you. I might have to edit this out. I'm just asking.
I have to preface this because I want to...
Just tell the dang story.
Okay, so I asked Santa Claus when I was a little kid for a leather jacket. I wanted like a leather jacket, like a leather biker's jacket, right?
So you were like this even when you were a kid?
What, do I want leather jackets now?
Like, do they make toy knives that you can just, like, switch knives?
Oh, dude, I remember having my first knife when I was so young. Like, I sliced my finger in half with a knife. But anyway, so I asked Santa Claus for a leather jacket.
Yeah. He says...
No, Santa... Yeah, I don't remember specifically what the Santa said. But Christmas morning shows up. I go out and open my presents, and it's like a leather bomber's jacket. It's like
Gotcha.
has the leather sleeves, like a Letterman jacket.
Yeah.
Right? So, but the middle was cloth, and I was like disappointed, like visibly disappointed. Thinking back, I realized, my parents were really young when I was born, so they were in their early 20s just trying to make it back then.
Right.
Later on in life, we were doing pretty good, but at that point, I realized like my parents probably couldn't afford having 3 kids, their oldest son, like about $120, $130 leather jacket, so they got a bomber. Or maybe they could, but those funds are allocated to that. Right. And I feel so bad as an adult because I couldn't imagine like my kid looking at me the way I looked at my parents, like I didn't get what I wanted for Christmas.
Right.
I feel like such a piece of shit.
And you should.
I know. It's like they did their best, and I'm like, oh, I wanted a leather. And I like moped around all day.
How old were you?
Gosh, it had to have been like 4th or 5th grade.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, that's a little rough, but I think that there's also...
leather jacket's the answer to your question.
I feel like there's also unrealistic expectations. Now, anytime, and I didn't realize this, but anytime I was going... to ask Santa for something that was beyond the expectations of what my parents could actually do for me, my mom would always like talk me down, and I never realized it. So for instance, if I said, hey, I want a leather jacket, my mom would be like, oh, I don't, leather's really hard to get up there at the North Pole. I'll have to, I think you could probably get is it's kind of like a leather jacket. It's a bomber jacket. Have you ever seen a bomber jacket? I'd be like, no, what's that, Mom? Oh, it looks cool. It zips up. It's very comfortable. Leather, it creaks and this and that. You have to, this. It could get stolen. And
that's smart.
By the end of the conversation, I'd be like, dude, bomber jackets are legit.
There was a movie, I think it was maybe Terminator I was watching when I was a kid, and he had a leather jacket, and that's why I wanted it. Terminator 2 or something. But
yeah,
so it had a leather jacket, and I really wanted to like rock that with like the white t-shirt underneath, or I even thought about...
You weren't watching that shit. You were watching Fonzie. You were watching... that's what you were...
Or no t-shirt underneath. I thought about that too, because Top Gun, I guess, he puts on it after he's done playing volleyball. And,
but wasn't that a bomber jacket, or was that a leather jacket?
It was all leather, I think. I can't remember, but I just remember seeing a movie with someone having that jacket, and I wanted one.
Gotcha. Shout out Leslie.
Yeah, shout out to Leslie.
She's always.
But we were spoiled. That's just indicative of me being like a spoiled kid who was upset that he didn't get what he wanted.
Do you do it now still?
Yeah, kind of. If I really want something, like, there's not going to be a lot stopping me from getting it somehow.
Oh, so you get it yourself?
Yeah, of course. Well, our family's money, my wife and I have one account that all of our money goes into. We don't do the joint bank account thing. So we just have to justify our purchases. And sometimes I'm just like, I want it, so I'm going to buy it. Well,
for me...
do you do joint bank accounts? Or
no.
Do you do separate?
First marriage, it was like... Yeah, we shared everything. I don't know, when I turned 30-ish, whatever, when I got in this new marriage, it was like, no... Like we'll borrow from each other here and there. Mostly I'm the one borrowing from her though. She's the breadwinner. I don't know. It stinks. But for like 2 weeks I made more than her in our relationship. And I turned into this guy who was like, I don't know, we can afford that. Let me mull it over. And then like 2 weeks later, it was just like she made more than me and she still does. And I'm like, crap. I don't know. When we don't have joint bank accounts because I like the fact that I can go spend some of my money on what I want to spend it on. And that helps with also buying gifts like around Christmas time. And, she doesn't get to see what I'm purchasing and this and that and vice versa. Right. So, I don't know if it's like having separate Facebook accounts or having, at what point do you draw the line?
Is there anything worse than a joint Facebook account?
That's what I'm saying. That's the same thing as a bank account. It's just saying that, hey, we're together and all of our purchases are together. It's like, you know what? I get it. But the other thing is, I think you also realize that you still want to be responsible in what you're doing, right? So it's like...
Well, like, I don't know. We have it structured to where with our joint bank account, we use QuickBooks to
Yeah.
manage all of our finances.
Right.
And then every Monday morning, we get up an hour early and we go over our budget for the day, the week, the month, and how we're doing
Sit together.
compared to previous months. Like you can run out a profit and loss form and see what you're.
Wow.
So we do that. We do that every single Monday morning.
That's impressive.
No matter what.
I think there's a lot of relationships out there that will like they'll wake up early and they'll pray together, or they'll wake up and have coffee together. And you guys are waking up and just like, all right, let's get in the QuickBooks time.
Yeah.
That's good. That's actually smart. Kind of probably sets your week on like, what can we do? What can't we do? What can we spend?
Well, when part of me leaving the dealership was I need to be used where I'm most valuable. So when you set the schedule for where you look at our finances and you set goals for the day, the week, the month, the year, you could find out where I'm going to be moved to and what I can do that week in order to be most valuable.
Now,
I give myself a Bobby badge.
good job. Does anyone, well, I mean, between you and Liz, I feel like you're the one that wants to probably spend more because you want to invest more, because you want to get not the next best thing, but you there's another toy that you want to tinker with that you feel will help. Like if it's screen printing shirts, you may be like, dude, we're going to go get a screen printer. I know where we can put it in our house, and we're going to start, down in the basement, and we're just going to make our own t-shirts. And
I kind of have a rule for myself to where if I want something, I add it to the Amazon cart, but I don't buy it. And then I see how often I find myself going back to it. And I usually try to give myself a month or two of actually thinking about it before I purchase it.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm running up on the using my camera that I have currently right now to its full capacity. Like I'm running up onto its limitations. I'm finding myself more and more and more nowadays.
Right.
So I want a new camera, but I have an income goal using that camera that I have to hit before I allow myself to go out and buy another one. I see. I kind of work it like that. I give myself goals. Okay, cool. If I do this, this, and this, and I still find myself needing it,
right.
I'll find a way to make it happen and buy it.
Okay. Is there anything that Liz wants that you're just like, nope, we haven't hit our income goal?
No. I mean, if we both want something and it's genuine, then we will sit down and we'll budget and we'll try to find a way to make it work.
Gotcha.
Only having one kid's got to help too, though. You know what I mean? Like if I had a family and I had like 3 kids, it's like a lot of that stuff probably get pushed to the back.
Dude, I'm telling you, having 4 kids.
You got 4 kids, huh?
I got 4 children. And now 3 days a week I have one child, obviously, and then back to it.
Yeah.
But it's not, and that's not bad. It just creates a different flow. It's almost like, it's almost like going out in the ocean and kind of having some bigger waves and or smooth water. It just depends on the dynamic. You don't know what you're going to get when you have kids come in and out of the house. They adapt pretty quickly, but they also kind of bring over what's going on in that other house. Yeah, so if they come home from the stressful house, they'll bring the stress in. If it was peaceful, then it's peaceful. If it's whatever, it's whatever. And so they have to be quick with how they change too, because it's like, oh man, at this house I got to do more chores, or at this house I get more freedom, and it's just hard for them. So we try to be as consistent as possible.
It's got to be hard sometimes, though.
Yeah.
Even with one kid being consistent, like I have a terrible problem with cussing, and Ava has picked up on it a few times.
Yeah.
Like I drop hard F-bombs sometimes when I feel they're appropriate. And Ava did it the other day. And it was so hard not to laugh and like try to like discipline her for that. It's like, pick it the fuck up. And she's like, I'm picking it the fuck up. And I was like, oh no. But like I couldn't help but laugh. Yeah. And like that's completely inconsistent from how Liz would have reacted.
Yeah.
Like
I think everyone, in fact, I want everyone to share to us. We've got a few people out there that will slide in the old DMs that will say, oh, I'm listening. Amanda Keating, she's listening. She's starting from square one. She's going through all this. We've got a few others that hit us. Do
I still get views on some of my older episodes?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
I can show you some stats.
That's not a huge deal.
We got Desi B. Got a few others that
Who's
listen.
Desi B? I've seen her popping up. Lately.
Now this is all through Enum Claw discussion board. I have not met like physically these people. I've only met them verbally, I guess, or texting, or, not.
You met a few of them though, right? You've met Holly.
I've met Holly,
You
yeah.
met Shaylee?
I went to school with Shaylee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
for
Yeah,
sure.
so I know Shaylee.
Yeah.
I haven't met Desi.
Not Amanda, not Amber,
I haven't
not
met
Desi.
No, yeah, you're right. So it
not
really
Eden. There's a lot of people that I don't know except through the Enum Claw discussion board.
Have you met that DJ Mike Check?
I have. He is a heart throb.
I heard he has his own T-shirts.
Yeah, he did.
Is
He
this
made his
true?
own dumb T-shirt. Anyway, they will. Where's I going with this? They'll listen.
People listening back through, getting views on old episodes.
Yeah, that was
and
your
sliding
idea.
into your DMs.
Before that, what was I going to say? I was.
We're talking about kids, households, bringing stuff over.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
no, I don't know. I was trying to help you out.
Gosh,
there.
what was it? It was something to do about. I think it was Desi B, and I was like trying
Slide
to.
into your DMs and
No,
someone
it was
started
before
listening.
that. They'll tell me that they're listening, and then they'll. I don't know.
Oh, kids and F-bombs.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so you may have some kids out there. I don't know who doesn't have kids. I don't know. But yeah, slide in the DMs. Tell me a story where you may have said something that was then repeated. I was playing video games when like Kane was 3 or something, 2 or 3. And I played like Call of Duty and I died. I'm like, shit. And then Kane goes, shit. Shit, walking around, shit, and then I'm just like, oh gosh, no,
It's
stop.
the worst. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
hilarious too, though.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's just words,
They are, but they're words that are funny for a reason,
Yeah.
right? Because
I never really understood the taboo of them. Me and Liz disagree on a lot of stuff, like censorship. Like we
you walk around just naked in your house.
No, we're boxers.
No, but that's what then you're censoring yourself.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's times where it's okay, but like I'm talking about, like we'll let your kids watch a PG-13 movie when they're like 7 or 8
Right,
years old.
right.
Like to me, it doesn't an R-rated movie. You're 13 at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do that too. That's that whole thing.
Music too.
Yeah, the whole thing where we were talking about how we want to kind of not force things on, but this is nostalgic type things. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, when I was 8, I watched Back to the Future.
RoboCop.
I thought it was great. Yeah, exactly.
Rambo. Like when I was a little
Batman.
kid, those
Yeah.
all came out in the 80s. In 1990, I was 8, so I
Right.
saw all those movies before I was 8 years old.
Right, and back then,
Platoon. I watched Platoon when I was
Oh.
6 or 7 years old.
and you got it, you understood it.
No, I had no idea what
Yeah.
was going on. It was horrifying.
Yeah.
But it was still like I watched it.
But I still remember seeing the cheese. Like at the time, I'm like, that's just a watermelon that's painted like a friggin' face.
You got to parent. You got to let them know what's
Yeah,
real and
you know
what's
it's not real.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it could be a little more real.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you this: if you ever deal with a kid that gets stuck in being scared of something, you will not hear the end of it. Now, Kane was all about like being scared of jump scares type things, Five Nights at Freddy's, this and that. He was like 8. Now, he had older sisters that were watching these types of things. But the thing that's like, I don't know what Ava's scared of, but Jacqueline, man, if she sees even a dot anywhere, she thinks it's a spider. Dad, go see a spider. Dad, look at the spider. Dad, look at the spider. Spider.
She hasn't hit any scared of anything yet. She is, though, she got obsessed with zombies somehow. Don't know how. We don't watch zombie shows or anything. And then she woke up one morning and the first thing she said was, zombies are real. And I said, no, zombies aren't real. Their zombies are fake. And she got very upset that zombies were fake. She wanted them to be real so bad. She just started crying like, zombies are real. I was like, oh, all right. Like, what am I supposed to say to that? So, but she hasn't really been scared of anything. She sleeps in her own bed at night, like lights off, and she's good to go. It's right across the hall from ours, though. So, like, she'll get up sometimes like 3 or 4 in the morning and come grunt. You hear, run her. It'd be scary if she came running. So, I got another recommendation. I'm going to hold off till the end.
Well, we're there.
We're there?
We're at
So what did I call it last time?
Life
No,
expectancy while listening to Full Bobby Cast.
This one's going to be 2 minutes before it's turned off. Lifestyle tips for the Full Bobby Cast casual fan. Casual Full Bobby Cast fan.
Casual Full Bobby.
Lifestyle tips for the casual Full
There
Bobby
we go.
Cast fan. Okay.
You nailed it.
So podcast recommendation actually this time.
to listen to. Besides
Yes.
Full Body Cast. Okay, yeah.
Besides Full Buddy Cast, of course. After you're through all and caught up on all the Full Buddy Casts. It is called the No Sleep Podcast.
What is that all
If you're a horror... So there's a Reddit forum called No Sleep. And what it is, a bunch of authors write like suspense and horror stories on there.
Yeah.
And then this podcast takes those and puts some production value behind them and actually narrates them and like brings them to life in a podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. There's like hundreds of episodes, so I'm like season 2.
Bobby, I will do this for you.
Mm.
I feel like you're a creative genius. If you write a thriller or anything,
Dude.
I will read. If you could make it a half hour, 15, 20 minutes, I will read. That will be one full episode. I will do the episode. I will not give my own. I will just read it.
I've got one.
And
I'll bring it over. I'll email it to you. Let you see it.
I can read it?
Yeah.
I'll read it out loud. No, I want to read it
The first time, your first impression.
as I'm doing it.
How can you actually read it good then? Because you don't know what your inflections need to be. You haven't read
First
the
off,
story.
your English is terrible. It's well. It's well, not good.
How come?
I cannot
How
read-
come y'all can't read it good?
I
then?
can't wait to read this thing now to see how bad it is with your grammar.
I use
I'm sure-
Microsoft Word to give you grammar tips and spelling. You know what's funny? Half the time I get my spelling and grammar wrong. Did you know that using voice to text is an old man thing? So all the teenagers I work with tell me that if you use voice to text, that's what old people do. And I always use voice to text.
Yeah,
That's why my spelling and grammar are generally as bad as
that's
they
what
are.
I do too. I do voice to text on a lot of things.
But you have pretty good spelling. Do you go
I have-
back and correct it?
Yeah, I mean, like, because like if I'll say like, all right, I'm going down to Cole Street in Enumclaw, it'll say like I'm going down to Cole Coal Street, and then it'll be like Edom Claw
Yeah,
Edom, and I'm like, I have to delete that.
Enom, Claw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I hit send. I send it. Full send. What are you looking at over there?
Texts that are coming through.
Oh, you want a voice to text back so bad right now, don't you?
Well, it's talking about there's a friend who there's a person out there that's just texted me about some things that I need to like at some point deal with because it requires it's going to affect my life a little bit. Not in a bad way, but in a hopefully good way.
Oh, there you go.
So,
I like the optimism.
yeah, it is. It's a super exciting opportunity.
Shout out to Holly Graff on the Topo Chico water.
Thanks for
delicious.
I appreciate that, Holly. I was in the middle. See, this is where Bobby got into his me moment.
I'm doing you a favor.
No, I was gonna
Because this is starting to drag.
No, I'm not. All right, everyone. Thanks. No. So recommendation is No Sleep.
Yeah, No Sleep Podcast.
My recommendation is to
Who shows this?
is what?
Whose show is this?
I'm going to give you my recommendation. Okay.
All right.
Force as many nostalgic things on your family as possible. It's always fun for you. This is Christmas time. It's Christmas time is a time where you're like, oh, this is my favorite movie. And they're sitting around, Emmett Otter's Christmas. And then they're like, this is the worst thing in the world.
Otter's Christmas?
Emmett Otter's is a Muppets thing.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, there's movies out there that even my wife is like, okay, you know what? And I'm like, I'm the captain now.
Have you gone to the church light show?
I have.
We were there last night. Really good this year.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
really
it.
cool. MRCC, Mount Rainier Christian Center. Yeah. I helped tear that down one year.
Really?
Yeah, buddy. While I was going there, I still go there. Yeah, I still go there. But my buddy Henry Van Dam, dropping names, he's like, "Hey, you want to help me tear this apart?" And so I'm like, "Sure." But there was one tree out there that everyone was avoiding, like pulling down stuff, this and that, going on the roof, going around the windows, everything. But there's this one tree that was completely just wired up, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do it." And it was like 20 degrees. It was like wind blowing, middle of January, and I was on that tree for like 2 hours. There was a reason everyone was avoiding that tree. And I didn't realize it until I started untangling it. It was like Maniac McGee's Knot. Shout out to 5th grade reading that book, Maniac McGee.
So it was just a big mess.
Big mess. Well, you got to get out of here, buddy.
Yeah,
It was great seeing you. Everyone, thanks for listening. Hit us up in the DMs with the questions for the Bobby.
Slide into Travis's DMs, not mine.
Bobby's always, and then he'll tell me the
Topo
questions.
Chico.
Topo Chico, Cole
Pacifico.
Street,
We're all about
Bordeaux
the
Wine Bar,
Hispanic beverages
and
tonight.
Bobby Martinez, and Mazatlan.
Pursuit Distillery.
Pursuit Distillery. Go see Bobby. Thanks so much for listening. Go check out Take Back Your Life, especially with those New Year's resolutions. They will get you. If they can't get you in the gym, they'll at least
Find a way to make it work.
They'll find a way to make it work. They can email you what to do. They can email you if you want to change how you eat. They got all of that too. Full Buddy Cast will knock some of that price off for you. Promo code.
Take Back Your Life /weddings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get the weddings going. Yeah. New Year's resolutions. If you get married, go hit up Bobby for all of your wedding needs. Everyone, thanks for listening. Have a great day. Have a great week. And take back your life and take back your
Butthole.
Welcome to the greatest of the greatest.
You're listening to Full Bobby Cast. Full Bobby Cast. Full Bobby Cast.